My boyfriend dumped me for a billionaire heiress in front of hundreds of people. 3 months later, a mafia boss knocked on my door and asked me to marry him. The worst day of my life started with a marriage proposal and ended with public humiliation. I was 28. My boyfriend, Jason, and I had been together for 6 years. 6 years of supporting him. 6 years of helping him build his company. 6 years of believing we were building a future together. When he invited me to a massive charity gala, I thought he was finally going to propose. Everyone thought so. My friends, my family, even his employees. I spent hours getting ready, bought a new dress, did my makeup, imagined our future. I was an idiot. Halfway through the evening, Jason walked onto the stage. The crowd applauded. I smiled. My heart was racing. Then he called another woman's name, not mine, a woman named Vanessa Blackwell, the billionaire daughter of one of the richest families in the country. The crowd erupted into cheers as she walked on stage. Then Jason got down on one knee and proposed to her, in front of everyone. I still remember the way people turned to look at me, some shocked, some embarrassed, some pretending not to stare. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Then Vanessa smiled directly at me and said words I'll never forget. "Thank you for keeping him warm until I arrived." The crowd laughed, actually laughed. I wanted the floor to open beneath me. Instead, I grabbed my purse and left. Humiliation doesn't begin to describe what I felt. I later learned Jason had been seeing Vanessa for nearly a year, while still living with me, while letting me pay bills, while telling me he loved me. The next morning, my entire life was online. Videos, photos, memes, comments. Millions of views. I became the girlfriend who got replaced. For weeks, I couldn't leave my apartment. Then things got worse. Vanessa didn't stop. She posted photographs wearing jewelry I had helped Jason choose, posted captions mocking me, made sure everyone knew she had won. And I had lost. I honestly thought my life was over. Then, 3 months later, somebody knocked on my door, and everything changed. Standing outside was the most intimidating man I'd ever seen. Tall, broad shoulders, black suit, cold gray eyes, the kind of man who looked dangerous without saying a word. Behind him stood 4 security guards. I nearly slammed the door shut. Then he spoke. "My name is Luca Morty." The name meant nothing to me, at least initially. Then I remembered. Luca Morty, the man newspapers called a businessman, the man everyone else called something different. A mafia boss. My heart nearly stopped. Then he said something even stranger. "May I come inside?" Against every survival instinct I possessed, I agreed. For the next hour, Luca explained something unbelievable. Apparently, my grandfather once saved his father's life decades earlier. A debt. An old debt. One his family never forgot. Luca had recently learned what happened to me, the public humiliation, the betrayal, the harassment. And according to him, he intended to help. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. Then came the first twist. Luca wasn't interested in revenge, at least not the way I expected. He wasn't going to threaten Jason, or hurt Vanessa, or destroy anyone. Instead, he quietly began fixing the damage they caused. The videos disappeared. The harassment stopped. Anonymous accounts vanished overnight. Journalists suddenly lost interest. It was like someone erased the entire scandal. And maybe they did, I never asked. Then something unexpected happened. Luca kept showing up. Not because he had to, because he wanted to. Coffee, lunch, conversations. Slowly, I realized something. Behind the intimidating reputation was a surprisingly kind man. A lonely man. A man who carried responsibilities most people couldn't imagine. The more time we spent together, the more impossible it became to ignore my feelings. Then came the second twist. Vanessa's family business became the subject of a federal investigation. Not because of Luca, because of their own corruption. Years of fraud finally caught up to them. Investors fled. Stock prices collapsed. And suddenly the billionaire princess wasn't so powerful anymore. Then Jason did what cowards always do. He ran. The moment Vanessa's money disappeared, so did he. Apparently true love had a market value. Who knew? Vanessa tried contacting me. Several times, I ignored every message. Not because I hated her, because I simply didn't care anymore. That was the real revenge. Indifference. Then came the biggest twist of all. 6 months later, Luca invited me to dinner. A private dinner, just us. Halfway through the evening, he looked unusually nervous, which was funny, because this was a man who terrified politicians. Then he pulled out a small box and asked me to marry him. I genuinely laughed, not because I didn't love him, because it felt ridiculous. 6 months earlier, I was crying on my apartment floor. Now one of the most powerful men in the country was asking me to become his wife. Life is strange. I said yes. Of course I said yes. A year later, we got married. And during our wedding reception, I noticed someone standing across the room. Jason, not invited, just watching. For a brief second, our eyes met. Then he looked away. And honestly, I felt nothing. No anger, no hatred, no sadness. Nothing, because the best revenge isn't making someone regret losing you. The best revenge is becoming so happy that their regret no longer matters. Today, Luca still calls me his greatest investment. I tell him that's ridiculous. He insists it's true. Maybe we're both right, because the woman who was publicly humiliated by her boyfriend and his billionaire mistress no longer exists. She disappeared the day she stopped believing her story was over and started writing a better one. What would you have done after that public betrayal? Was Vanessa's downfall karma or just consequences? Comment below what you think.